Facts Only Test Prep.
Welcome to Facts Only Test Prep. We're called Facts Only because we give you everything you need and nothing you don't when it comes to the SAT. So please enjoy the next video.
The Quadratic Formula.
There's no way to make the quadratic formula fun. I've had students that have learned the quadratic formula through like a rap, or they set it to the lyrics of like the Star Spangled Banner or Mary Had a Little Lamb, and everybody's miserable, and I'm not going to make that any easier for you here today, but I am going to show you how to use it to its full potential on the SAT. And what's really nice is that a lot of these quadratic formula questions show up on later portions of the SAT math section. So if you're trying to steal late points and raise your ceiling a little bit, this is a great way to do it. Also, the SAT is pretty fair when it comes to polynomials and quadratics, so even if the material looks scary, a lot of our answers are whole numbers, or at the very least, they don't require a ton of calculations. You're going to need Test 2, Section 3, number 13, Test 3, Section 3, number 14, and Test 4, Section 3, number 15. You hear all those 13s, 14s, 15s? Those are late questions. They're supposed to be hard. I think we can make them easy for you. Let's start by just examining what the quadratic formula is and what it means. If you are dealing with a polynomial, it will be in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. In this case, a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, c is the constant. And the quadratic formula helps you solve for x, and it is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I think that my producer is going to have a seizure as I repeat all of that. It's not that bad, and practice makes perfect, so let's practice. Here's question 13, Test 2, Section 3. What is the sum of all values that satisfy 2m minus 16m plus 8 equals 0? You can't factor this. You can throw all of these values into the quadratic formula. You can do one other thing to make it a little easier on yourself, which is divide both sides, let me try that again, by 2. So we divide 2m squared minus 16m plus 8 by 2, and we get m squared, or 1m squared, minus 8m plus 4 equals, and we know that 0 divided by 2 is still 0. So we can now put these values into the quadratic formula. Our b value, I'm going to label these for you. Our a value is 1. Our b value is negative 8. Pay attention to the negative sign. And our c value is 4. All right. So we're going to have negative 8, which is positive 8, plus or minus the square root of negative 8 squared is 64, minus 4 times 4 times 1, 4 times a times c, or c times a. I kind of flip-flopped the a and the c there. All over 2 times a, which in this case will just be 1, or 2 times 1, so all over 2. Now we just need to simplify. This is 8 plus or minus the square root of, let's see, 64 minus 4 times 4 is 16. That's 48 all over 2. And at this point, there are a couple of different ways that we can solve for this. I think we're going to go full screen here. I'm going to move out to the right, and I'm going to do the long version of this and then maybe tell you how to do the shortcuts. This is the same as 8 plus or minus 4 times the square root of 3, if we simplify under the radical, all over 2. And that simplifies to 4 plus or minus 2 root 3, which means that our values, there are two of them, are 4 plus 2 root 3 and 4 minus 2 root 3. And they're asking for the sum of those values, so we're going to add 4 plus 2 root 3 to 4 minus 2 root 3. Let's combine like terms. 4 and 4, 8, plus 2 root 3 minus 2 root 3. Hey, those cancel, and our answer is 8. That's easy. Notice how the language mattered there, though, right? Sum makes a big difference there. Let's try another one. What are the solutions to 3x squared plus 12x plus 6? Again, dividing this whole thing by 3, because 3, 12, and 6 are all divisible by 3, is going to give us a much easier quadratic to work with. So this simplifies to x squared plus 4x plus 2 equals 0. And now we'll throw these same values into the quadratic formula. Minus 4 plus or minus the square root of, let's see, 4 squared is 16, minus 4 times 1 times 2, that's going to be 8 when we simplify, all over 2 times 1, that's our a value. And we get minus 4 plus or minus the square root of, let's see, 16 minus 8 is 8, all over 2. Again, we need to rationalize the square root, so this is going to be minus 4 plus or minus 2 root 2, all over 2. And this simplifies to, and I'll write this in a different color just so you can see the final answer, negative 2 plus or minus root 2. And that's A. That's our answer. Let's do one more. This is test 4, section 3, number 15. This really terrifies students. It shows up late, and it's a difficult question. It says that it's a quadratic equation, but the equation that they give us is not in that ax squared plus bx equals c form. So we have to start by subtracting 2p from both sides, and we should actually be working with x squared minus k over 2x minus 2p equals 0. Whenever I've got a fraction in a quadratic, I'm going to do whatever I need to get out of fraction land. So just as we divided all the coefficients in the first two examples, we're going to multiply in this case because it's going to make using the quadratic formula more manageable. I'm multiplying both sides by 2. So now I have 2x squared minus kx minus 4p, and it still equals 0. I know that my a term is 2, my b term is negative k, and my c term is negative 4p. Even though c is a constant, my c term is negative 4p. Let's throw these values into the quadratic formula. It's minus b, so minus k, minus negative k is positive k, underrated rapper from the early 90s, plus or minus the square, I'm 40, I don't know what you want from me, plus or minus the square root of negative k squared is k squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times negative 4p, and that's all over 2 times 2. That's our a value. Let's clean this up a little bit. We'll probably have to go full screen, and I'm going to go up to the upper right-hand corner. I'll do this in red just to make it stand out. We'll have k plus or minus the square root of k squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 4p. That is for positive 32p. Positive 32p was not a rapper from the early 90s. And this is all over 4. And we're pretty much done. All we need to do is put each term over 4. So this is k over 4 plus or minus k squared plus 32p, squeeze that in, over 4. And that's answer choice B. That's the right answer. I know that's a lot. I would recommend, especially on this question, do this a few times. Copy what I did step for step. Don't forget to multiply both sides by 2 so you have a cleaner quadratic to work with. And the more of these you do, the more you'll look forward to seeing them on the SAT, and you're going to steal those points. Good luck, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure that you like us and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll get information on the new videos as soon as they're available. It helps us a lot. Also, visit us at factsonlytestprep.com. That's where you'll find links to the tests that I use in my lessons, along with some other resources that we prepared for you. Thanks and good luck.